This is the difference between a regular piece of suede and the underside of a hide. Typically, when you extract the hide from a cow, for example, the thickness of the hide varies throughout the cow. So the back of the cow might have a really thick piece of hide that you use to make belts like these, and other parts of the cow, like the side or the underbelly, have thinner thickness of the skin. When tanneries receive unprocessed skin from a cow after the meat has been removed, they have to go through a process of evening out the hide to make it at least somewhat reasonably the same thickness throughout the hide. So this is the skin side of leather and this is the flesh side. So what tanneries will do is literally split the hide in half to make this into two pieces. Now this is just for demonstration purposes. So this will be split all the way through, and this top part will become either full grain or top grain material to be made into bags. And this leftover grain here, this leftover piece at the bottom, will now become what's considered suede. So after they split the top or full grain off and use that and sell that separately, they're left with the piece at the bottom that is way more flexible and thinner than if that hide was left as one piece. So in most instances, suede isn't considered your top quality, but that's changing. The different tanning processes and different manufacturing processes have drastically improved the feel of suede, and also it appears the longevity as well. This is a piece of suede that I bought, again, from Tandy Leather. It moves very differently than the other piece of leather that I showed you earlier. Any type of animal skin can typically be made into suede. So you'll find cow suede, lamb skin, and goat suede. It's really hard to figure out what the quality of suede it is that you're buying. And I personally have not found a very reliable method. I'm going to show you a few examples of suede applications. So the first one is a vintage Gucci Jackie bag that the suede used here is a very short nap, meaning the fibers that are sticking out are shaved down pretty close. This is a bag I have from Madewell that has a longer nap, so you can kind of tell as you run your hand through the suede that, you know, the texture, but also the color kind of changes a little bit, and that's just as a result of the movement of the fibers. And the last bag is actually a tote bag from COS, and this is kind of somewhere in the middle where it has longer fibers than the Gucci one, but shorter fibers than the Madewell bag. If you're in the market for suede, my biggest tip is make sure to feel the leather product in person before you purchase it. You obviously want to check it for any deformities, any discolorations. You are dealing with animal skin that has been processed in different ways, so those types of inconsistencies are common. The second thing I would look for is the actual construction. So because suede is fairly thin as compared to full grain or top grain, you have to make sure that there's enough support internally, and stitching and that sort of thing is done properly to support the thinner suede material. It's also really hard to predict how cow suede will age. So I have a few jackets here. This one has aged really well, but this one not so much. Some of the dye has faded and it feels kind of, I don't know if you can hear that, but it just doesn't feel as good as my other suede jackets. Cow suede will behave very differently than goat suede, for example. So these are all goat suede pieces, and they're more lightweight, they're thinner, and they're actually softer. But I haven't had any of these pieces long enough to know what the longevity will look like, meaning what they'll look like and feel like in 3 years or 4 years. Let me know if you have any other questions about suede.